Alright, so today I'm going to be going over the boat that I've been using here in most of my recent videos. It's been a little too windy to use my kayak, and I'm probably not going to use a kayak for the next couple months, to be honest, because I've gotten to like this little boat. So I'm going to go over it, I'm going to go over why I got it, what I like about it, and what I'm going to change. So let's get into it. So here we have a 12-foot flat-bottom John boat. That's pretty much the extent of it. Nothing super fancy. But I really like this thing, and I'm going to tell you why. So I purchased this for $2,000, trailer and all. It was not in this good of condition. So I'll show you what I did to it and show you what I like about it. So up here, we have a Minn Kota 40-pound thrust trolling motor. It was actually a stern mount that I flipped the head around and turned it to a bow mount. I made this quick little wooden mount here. Nothing fancy at all. It had a motor guide foot controlled on it that was broken. It was stuck all the way as deep as it would go, and it was stuck on wide open, and it wouldn't turn, and it was pretty much garbage. So I ripped it off, and I had this motor sitting in my shed, so I made use of it. So obviously, as you can see, this boat has been decked. I did not do that. Whoever did it did a pretty good job, but there are a lot of things about it that I don't like. But we'll get into that. So, as you can see, I can kind of fit my finger up under the deck, so it's probably 5/8 plywood, completely carpeted. First hatch opens simply like that, and here I keep my life jackets and 2 batteries, trolling motor batteries. So that way I've got weight forward on the boat for tongue weight. Behind that, you've got these compartments, which sometimes are a pain to open. All right. As you can see, got my fish finder, just some random stuff in there. Open up that one, got my throwable, got my scale down there, and the seat is still here. This is the original boat seat. I think this takes up a lot of room, so what I'm going to do is either just cut the top off and hollow it out so I can use it as storage, or cut it out altogether and make a brace for rigidity. I'm not sure yet. All right, moving back, you can see it's got a carpeted floor in it. I like the floor, but I don't like how they did it. The floor actually extends up underneath the front deck here all the way to the front seat. So it's captured, so you can't pull the floor out to run wiring or plumbing or anything, so that's kind of annoying. The rear deck, when I got it, was sagging really bad. This whole beam was broken and the whole thing was just sagging. It was bad. So I fixed that, replaced that. It's made out of the same stuff. Oops. Hang on. We'll talk about the motor here in a minute. Alright. Back here in the back, it's kind of cool. It's got a prop wooden frame, as you can see. Here's the original seat. So you've got a decent storage area back here. You got your fuel tank, got my anchor. Everything's kind of a mess right now because I haven't cleaned it in a little while. Got to put my drain plug in because I'm going fishing in a couple minutes. But I do not like how this opens, because when you're on the boat, well, it opens like this. So yeah, that doesn't exactly work too well. So what I'm going to do eventually is hinge this the opposite direction so that it opens from the front, so you can actually open it on the water. Powering this bad girl, 25 horsepower Mercury. I believe it's a late 80s model. Yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of Mercury motors. That's just what it came with. I hope soon to upgrade it to a 25 horsepower Yamaha or maybe a Suzuki 4-stroke for quiet reasons. This one does pretty good so far. The boat with just me in it will probably run 25, 26 miles an hour. It's pretty fast. Of course, it is just a 12-foot, even though it is decked. It moves really good. I'm actually really impressed with it. The trailer, as you can see, has a very long tongue. So it's meant for it can be used for a longer boat if you want. It had rollers on it. And when I first got this thing, these bunk boards were not here. It had rollers that stopped right here and the boat sat on just that roller and then the front roller at the winch. That's the only thing it sat on. So I didn't like that. That had to change. So now it sits on the bunks. It's much more stable. And if you look right here, this actually sat here. So that definitely had to change. But overall, it's pretty stable. I mean, you wouldn't expect a 12-foot boat to be the most amazing thing in the world, but it is pretty stable. I take 2-3 people out on it. Me and my dog go out pretty common. Me and my son go out pretty often on this thing. It drafts maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches with the motor up. So you can definitely get it into some pretty skinny water. And if you need to pull it or pole it or something like that, it's definitely doable. So I'm definitely not a fan of the camo paint job. That's probably going to change about the time the motor changes. And when I change that motor, I'm also going to change that motor. This is going to get switched out for a foot control. Like I said, I put this on here just so I had something, but I'm definitely going to get a foot control on here because I'm trying to do a hand control and fish and, you know, flip cover, which doesn't really work that good. So there is a quick overview of my tiny bass boat. It's pretty much what it is. I call it the Minnow Limo, although it's not exactly accurate. We catch some pretty good fish on this. But yeah, there it is, overview of my tiny bass boat. If you have anything that you think would be beneficial or that you would change, let me know. Right now, I'm gonna go fishing. I'll see you later.